What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
LeVon Maynard.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and then special co-host for today, we have Mr. Johnny Jones Jr., podcaster, YouTuber, the co-founder and president of a nonprofit organization, the Tech4All Foundation, as well as a Marine and just all-around good guy over here. So definitely welcome to the show.
I appreciate that. How you doing, Ryan? Guys?
I'm doing very well.
Welcome.
Very excited to have you on the show. So we've been talking back and forth. We got you scheduled before the holiday. So we're definitely excited about that. So want to talk to you about your experience, a little bit about who you are, who you work for, what your nonprofit's about. We just go on and on and on, right? Definitely like, share, subscribe, all those people out there listening. We love having people on weekly. So if that is you or somebody you know, definitely push them our way. We definitely want to spotlight those, again, movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers like yourself. So without further ado, who is Mr. Johnny Jones Jr.?
Yeah, so as you said, thank you very much. My name is Johnny. You don't have to do the whole Jones Jr. thing. It's all good. But yeah, so I started out my my cybersecurity IT career in 2012 when I joined the Marine Corps. Before that, I didn't use any computers or anything except for anything like a teenager would use, cartoonnetwork.com or whatever other whatever other thing back in the dial-up days I messed around with. But when I joined the Marine Corps, I got assigned the MOS of IT. It was a cyber network operator. Operator was the original title. And then I ended up falling in love with it. I loved it. I didn't know what you could do with computers. And then I got into security about 2 years after that. So about 2014, fast forward past all the boring stuff, 3 deployments later, I was in charge of a NOC. And this is where I really came into my love of the cybersecurity, because we didn't have any security people or organization in that NOC. So I fought tooth and nail to get that up and running. And so that's when I kind of got my eye on CISSP, the management side of cybersecurity. And I did my first attempt. I'm gonna have to go and get you a Ask CISSP because I did not make that first one. But I did get SSCP and a couple of other security certs as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Upon my transition out of the Marine Corps, I went to a company called BAE, did a lot of security there. And then now I'm currently at Microsoft, where I work in the vulnerability and malware internal team, keeping Microsoft safe. That's about how much as I can say about my operations and my day job.
Right.
But I also started a nonprofit called the Tech4All Foundation. Well, so we found on the transition out of the military that there's a lot of opportunities out there, but we wanted to kind of give it to to our demographic, which are people of color, people of low income, veterans, and just people that that don't have the traditional means to get into cybersecurity, like college, or they just don't know anybody like yourself or any other intelligent gentleman on this call to help guide their way. So we try to be that facilitator to guide their way. We had a series of events throughout November, and then we have some in December. The intro course, Desiree, the vice president of Tech4All, she called it the 5 pillars of technology. So we started with the intro to cybersecurity, what the job looks like and all that, intro to networking and intro to programming, intro into Linux administration, Windows administration, stuff like that. We have guest speakers and all that. So that's kind of what we try to do, facilitate the knowledge and introduction into cybersecurity and the other aspects of IT. Like you said, I'm a YouTuber, so on my way out as well, I started a YouTube called The Military Transition Tips, which kind of helps, like in addition to TRS or any other organization that helps you transition out of the military, the course you go through. We try to be an extension of that. I talk about my experiences transitioning out and being on the other side. I have other people talk, talking about their experience transitioning out, what they've learned. And then I try to gather lessons from other people and then coalesce that into a video to kind of spread that knowledge out to those who may not have mentors or may not know or have the ability to to learn some of these things. Like yourself, I might want to talk to you about, hey, can you tell me about getting into cybersecurity with a CSP coming out of the military? And then we just kind of have a conversation, and I make a video about something like that. So that's kind of me as a nutshell. I hope I didn't go too long or talk too
No,
much, but
no,
yeah,
definitely, definitely.
that's kind of a nutshell, Johnny, right here.
Okay, no, that's what's up. It's a lot to unpack there, right? So I have a million
Yeah.
questions, but I'll give it to the crew first. What do you got for them?
So I got something for you, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for being on. I really do appreciate it, man. You know, they be bullying me on here sometimes. You know what I mean?
Not true.
Some weeks
Right.
yeah,
right.
I think I'm gonna
Couch.
get fired. Some weeks I think I'm gonna
Lies.
get fired. But hey, so I have a question about the TRS, right? I'm guessing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
for us, so like I was an Air Force veteran, right? So we have something that's called TAPS, Transition Assistance Program. Is it about the same thing? Is that
Same exact thing. Yeah.
and then okay? So yeah, I mean that's cool that you actually do that, right? So like, for us, it's a week-long class, right? And even in that week, like you think, okay, they give you a whole week to go through all these different things. And even with that, like I know there are some things that are lacking, especially when it comes to IT and cyber, right? So like that, it's good to hear that you're out there doing that, right? And you're contributing to that, and you're trying to get in there on that ground floor. And Ryan has even mentioned on the podcast before where there's been people that even with like career changes, right? You have people that are going from being like lawyers that want to get into IT, you know what I mean? But they just don't know where to start, you know what I mean? So the fact that you actually offer that is something I like to hear. You know, I like to see that's out there. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that. And think about it too. It's like, if you were IT in the military or you weren't, and you're trying to transition into the field, understanding what qualities and what value from your previous experience translate over. Because a lot of times people think, well, I was an XYZ in the military, so I just started with nothing. But no, you learned a lot. You gained a lot of experience in the military that translates over. The mindset, the security mindset we have, just think about physical security, on a fob out in country. If you kind of change that to the digital world, and that you can kind of get that mindset into translating into cybersecurity. I'll talk about that part a lot, translating physical stuff into the digital mindset.
Right, making it practical, and that's the hardest part for people, because they're just like, oh, I don't know anything about IT. I've never touched a piece of equipment. Like, no, you have, and you know a lot more than you believe. But then you have to tell them the distinction. There's a distinction between IT and cybersecurity, right? You always have to kind of break it down. Like, this is what this does. This is what that does. So I field a lot of those questions. So, but how was that transition between the two? So you said NOC for the people who are not military listening. So it's a network operations center. How was that transition, like going from IT to cybersecurity for you?
Ooh, so it was rough, because as an engineer or as an administrator, you always had a weird relationship with cybersecurity. They tell you can't, hey, you can't do that. Hey, that's not safe. And so
Right.
And so switching from that mindset of, I got to figure out how to get my job done, without cybersecurity, without those guys yelling at me, to being the person that's like, okay, now I know how these guys are going to try to skirt the rules. Let me try to let them understand, because now I can speak their language. Like, hey, yo, you can't be leaving your computer unlocked for this reason. Let me explain it to you. And then I know what they do because I used to be one of them. So now it's easy. It was easier for me to explain and let them know like why they can't or shouldn't or should do something. So
okay,
I would say it was a little easier for me to have
okay.
that.
No, that's good. So your IT experience fed your cybersecurity knowledge and allowed you to police them, because that's what you basically become. Yeah, and now you're the bad guy or woman. No, that's awesome. So before I go on, I cut LeVon off, right? Because I had something pop to my head, so I had to get it out.
Well, no, that's good. I'd say I think it's incredible that what you're doing. I mean, I like that you're actually you stand up an organization, actually help people underprivileged, people that aren't able to I don't know, they don't have all the benefits that a lot of other people have to gain knowledge in cybersecurity and IT in general to be able to like progress in their career. And that's something that we always talk about on this show. Just like obviously people of color are kind of like, there's not many people of color that are in cyber or in IT in general. And we're trying to, be a point of support, as well as like point of information for people that are that may have interest in IT and see that, we've got three guys here, now a fourth guy on our show today to kind of advocate and show that, you can make it, you can do it. We're all pretty successful in our careers. And, we've got some degrees, we got.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I think he froze. He'll be back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an
Now, I got
awkward
a question,
transition.
though. Was LeVon, is he a veteran as well?
So he's military affiliated. So his wife is he's back.
Oh, he's back.
Sorry.
Did I cut it out?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah, it looks
did.
like my internet. Oh yeah, my internet is unstable, it says. But I apologize. I don't know where I cut off at, but I'm just saying that I think it's incredible that you're doing that work, Johnny. And I got a lot of respect for that. I think it's great that you're trying to help people, get educated, get the knowledge, get the path forward, as well as transition out the military into a civilian lifestyle. And I think Ryan might be hitting you up soon. I know he's trying to make that transition soon enough. we were just talking about the other day. But as far as questions, I'm trying to think of some good questions. And one thing that came to mind when I saw you hop on, I saw you had a little Xbox in the back there. And one of the most important questions right now is like, have you played that latest Halo? That's what I want to know, right?
Just playing Halo. I just turned it off right before.
Nice.
Before I jumped on here.
Right.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm addicted.
Dope, man. I gotta tell you that. I like it.
It's nice.
It is. That's not even you speaking highly of the brand, right? That's just like, that's a good game. Like about 3 hours in, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
I was
but
ready
before
I
I
like it. So
before I forget, so while you were frozen, Johnny asked what your military affiliation was. So I was about to explain it, but I'll let you explain it
for me. Sure thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So myself, I was never in the military, but my mother was in the military. She was in the Air Force. So was my father as well. But I lived my life with my mother. But we traveled around across the world, traveled across the United States. Lived in Europe for a little bit. Came back to the States. But I was in Europe as a young child. But now that I'm married. My wife now is currently in the military as well. She's in the Air Force too. Strangely enough, it just kind of happened that way. Not like I was looking for an Air Force woman, but happened to cross paths because I was working for the military at the time. I decided to get a contracting job working for the government. So we actually met kind of on a job site. But so now I'm still like living the military lifestyle, traveling around a little bit. Next duty station, here and here. So let's see. So I started out in Virginia, moved to Vegas. Now I'm in Cali. So these are my stomping grounds. But I have much love and respect for the military, of course, and I feel like I'm in the military. I've been in the military like my whole life, just being within the family of a military.
Oh yeah.
We've accepted him. We've accepted him, Johnny. Like even though he wasn't there, we still love him like a play. Cuz
that's right.
Right. So all three of us, all three of us met in Virginia. So we worked for a network operations squadron while we were there. So I was infrastructure guy. Shannon was vulnerability assessment. If my memory serves me correctly, and LeVon was directory services.
That's right.
Because I'm trying to remember the rows. Like we had rows, right? We had like stadium seating. So that's how we sat. Like depending on, like I was up there a little bit higher, infrastructure.
Right. Yeah.
You need us.
The big shot.
You need us. I say that, but then Shannon became a watch officer, so he sat behind me. He's looking at my screen, make sure I'm not looking at the YouTubes.
I know, right?
But that's how we all met. So
okay.
Definitely respect the knock. When you said knock, I was like, okay, he knows the struggle.
Yeah, the struggle. Yeah. So I asked that question because I wanted to make a statement, and I've listened to a bunch of your show, your episodes of this, but I want to say that when I talk to like younger folks, especially people of color, I always tell them to consider the military when they want to get into IT, because you get that 4 years of experience, you get the GI Bill, you can go to school while you're in, and then when you transition out, you are so much more prepared than I personally believe than if you went through like a boot camp or you decide to go to like a community college or something like that. You'd have so much more to offer, I think, a new company if you did that route. So I usually advise that route, like, hey, consider it. And if they say no, then they say no. But I like to push that because like it really is good. And for some reason we have like a little stigma about the military, and I'm not sure why, but
Yeah, that's actually
So
something.
yeah, I was gonna say I can tell you why, but go ahead,
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh
hey.
yeah. Just real quick, I was
Oh,
just gonna say
yeah.
that as a youngster, that was my plan at one point. I was like, I'm gonna go to the military. I'm gonna get my education covered for, and like learn some IT stuff and get out and get into the career field. But my path just kind of went a different route. But it's that's something that I was definitely like about to do. But then I decided to change it up. I was like, you know what? I just want to go to tech school, get some certifications, and just hop right into the market right away.
Mm.
Which it worked out for me. But at the same time, I think a great opportunity if you're in join the military, especially if you can get. I mean, I know sometimes maybe in the military you can't choose exactly what you want to do all the time, but I think if you score high enough on some of the tests or what have you, they can stage you pretty much where you want to be. Um, and I know especially the Air Force. I know sometimes they call them the chair force. They have a lot of like IT stuff. IT opportunities there, but no disrespect to the chip, the Air Force, but I've heard those rumors before. I heard the people calling them. I'm like, how dare you?
I'm outnumbered. I can't say nothing.
Right,
I know,
right.
right?
No, it's all good. So no, so I was going to say, so I've brought it up twice recently. So I brought it up on a clubhouse I was in. It was non-military affiliated, and when it came to me on the panel, I started hyping it up like, yeah, you join the military, we'll pay for your certifications. They paid for all these certs for me, my education. I've not never spent a dime. You know what I mean? Like they've always taken care of me. Crickets. Everybody was like, I gotta wake up early when we work out. Not to say that's not for everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say that's I'm not trying to bash civilians. I'm just saying like it's a hard transition. Uh, but then the second one, it was off camera, and I wish I had caught it on Ask Us SP. The member asked me afterwards. He was like, "So, is that a route for me? How is it?" And I said, "It definitely is a route for you. You know what I mean? Like I told them they paid for this, they paid for that. They give me, decades of experience. But I was like, before I ever got my first cert, I got mortared over 100 times. So that's the thing. You have to sacrifice something to get something, right? So it's depending on where you're at and what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
it's the military, but if you stay in long enough, you definitely will be rewarded for it. So I think that's the stigma. People are like,
Yeah, they only think that it's Rangers and Navy SEALs. Like, I mean, I didn't know that there was IT in the Marine Corps before I joined. So
right.
yeah, I feel like the stigma is like, oh, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
and you're gonna give me a rifle and I'm just gonna run down into a foxhole and do what it do.
right.
And that's like
That's
what
Right.
true.
That's not
10% of
not
the
the
Yeah,
case.
force.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
I
know
didn't know there
exactly
was
what you're saying.
I didn't know there was as much IT and cybersecurity in the Marines myself until I just came from a joint assignment for 5 years. So we had everybody there, right? And like, hopefully not listening, but like some of my favorite people were Marines, just because of how cool they were, right? No matter what the situation was, like I could always rely on them to like, all right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We did all tactical comms. So they always had a solution. I always appreciated that. I did the combat fit test. Like I did it once. I was after I did it that one time with the Marine test. I was like, nope, never. It was voluntary. I'm never volunteering for that again. Stick with my own. But no, I always enjoy working with them. It's always a small, like I think we had maybe 19 in the whole element.
Mm,
Um, and
sounds
it was
about
always
right.
a pleasure working with them. So I definitely greatly appreciate their mindset and what have you. But focus back on you, sir.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry about that.
So I read an article where it was interview of you and your vice president on how you guys got started and whatnot. If you give me a little bit about that, like who the VP is, how you guys linked up to create your nonprofit, and how that transition took place.
Yeah, definitely. I want to shout out my whole team right now. So Desiree Blaney is our the VP, and we have Jasmine Mead as our marketing VP, and Alexander Klein as our treasurer. So we all went through, all of us except for Alex went through the Microsoft program, MSSA, Microsoft Software and Systems Academy, 17-week course, teach you a skill, whether it be cloud administration, cybersecurity, or they have a federal track now. So we all went through that course, and we all kind of talked about it now in passing throughout the course. Like, hey, I really wish I wish there were more resources out there for people of color, just in general. I wish there were better resources, veterans and stuff. So when we graduated the course, we all kind of went our separate ways. Desi worked at Xbox, Jasmine went to Amazon, Alex works at EA, and we kind of all kind of spoke together. We're like, hey, we could just do it. Like, we're out now and we have more free time than we did in the military. Why don't we just be the change? And so we sat together. We kind of tried to figure out, like, all right, who do we want to serve and how do we want to do this thing? So I think it took us about a month to hammer down what we want to do. And then we incorporated, and we just went straight into like starting to mentor people, throw little ad hoc courses together. And then we got our 5 pillars that we did last month. So we are relatively new, but we've been hitting the ground running since we incorporated. We've been trying to change the game as much as we can, with a 4-person team that we have as working individuals with families and such. But yeah, we try to do everything we can in our free time to give back. So that's kind of how we got started. We knew each other through a course. We were all veterans, so we had that that family lock already, and then we trusted each other enough to start this organization, and definitely wouldn't have changed it at all. Looking back, like, that was the way it was meant to be.
Okay, no, that's definitely what's up. So what was your latest event? Like, what did that look like?
On Friday, actually, we had an event, intro into network engineering, because people think networking is just talking to other people and linking on Facebook, but no, network engineering. Right. Brian Drinkard, a Marine Corps veteran, gave that course. So we had Jasmine was a key speaker, our marketing vice president. She talked about actual networking, like in LinkedIn and such. And then he got on and talked about network engineering, all the technologies that go into it. The fact that it's kind of like the stepchild. Nobody really talks about network engineering. Everybody wants to be a programmer or cybersecurity, but he really talked about network engineering, why it's important, why every other aspect of information technology, including cybersecurity, utilizes networking. And then he went into how to get a job. What do you need to study? If you're a veteran, what are the resources out there? If you're not a veteran, what are some of the resources out there? So it was a great course. We had a lot of engagement at the end of it when he opened up for questions and answers. So it was definitely fun to watch him give that course and get as much engagement as he did.
Right. No, that's definitely that's dope. Like, I appreciate that, because network infrastructure is the best. Just gonna put it out there, like, for everybody else on the panel, so
Can you guess where his heart lies, Johnny? Can you twice now? Can you guess where his heart lies?
Always, man.
Yeah,
like
infrastructure.
Like, you need me. So when the network is down, it's not my fault.
Right.
So it's a hardware failure. So with that being said, when people go through the training, the courses and whatnot, do you call them graduates, or are they, like, how does that process work? Are they going through a pipeline or several pipelines?
Oh, so we thank you for asking that one. Yeah. So let me clarify that. We give like daily webinars. So
okay,
kind of we're going to work on giving longer form courses, but that we want to make sure that that's like perfected before we offer it, because we don't want to give something that's outdated or incorrect. So we want to make sure that when we do offer that to someone, to have more of a pipeline, that it's the right choice for that person, not just we don't want to be one of those organizations that's kind of just doing it to say we did it. I want to do right by these people. So we're giving introductory courses, like, hey, do you think you're interested in this? All right, let somebody who got in this course, became successful, tell you what it actually is, not just like a flowery YouTube video. It's like, hey, network engineering, CCNP, blah, blah, blah. But he like legit went into the what the daily life actually looks like for that. And we did that for every career path that we covered this last month and a half.
Okay,
we don't call them
awesome.
graduates, just attendees of
attendees. Got you. No, so I can see you laying the foundation and what have you. So for anything that you've previously done, so like Friday's material, is there someplace that people can catch it, where they can watch it on the platform?
Gathering that and gonna do some post-production on it so that it's a little neater. And then, we're gonna try to release that on YouTube for others to watch. Okay. We know it's holiday season, people are probably moving around. So
right. No, that's awesome. Anybody else? Like, I'm hogging it over here. Like, I'm asking questions for myself. So I'm gonna put it out there.
No, I think that's important. You gotta you gotta get yourself ready. It's right around the corner for you.
Right. So I tried to hide it for a year, like because I'm still active. So I'm still in the military. So I don't like to advertise that. I'm nearing my end. I'm overseas. I'm away from the family for a while, so I'll probably transition from here. But you know, you don't want to like there's no animosity or bitterness. Like, I had a great career. If I could keep doing it, I would. But you know, kids are getting older and what have you. So I got to start looking towards, you know, what life at being home, because I haven't been home for like 7 years now.
Wow.
By the time this tour ends, it'll be 5 of me seeing the world, and then 2 with me being literally on the other side of the world. So that's the path.
Yeah, you definitely need deserve some at home time then.
Yeah. What were you about to say, LeVon, before I cut you off so rudely?
Oh, I can't remember. I don't know what I was about to say.
It was so
Memory
egregious.
out the man's head.
You just erased my memory right there. Just when you cut me off now.
I was like, let's get back to me. So let's talk about your podcast. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I was actually drafting an email for you later to be like, hey, you want to do the intro to cybersecurity episode? You want to be in there with me? But yeah, so I got about 45 episodes pending right now that I'm gonna be pre-recording. I'm gonna release it like the Netflix model, 10 or 15 at a time so people can binge
Nice.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
also,
how you do it.
also good with me with time, because I got a billion projects under my belt. So I got to be respectful of my time, and then, I still got to see the family and whatnot. So,
right.
Right.
But yeah, the course is the podcast is gonna be very similar to my YouTube, just be longer format, because I try to keep my YouTube around, that 10-minute mark, under that, because that's attention span. People don't sit on YouTube for an hour and a half. But podcasts like the one we're on now, is conducive to a longer format where you can have actual conversations. And so I find that might be more beneficial to those that are listening, especially when they have guests on or interviews and whatnot. So that's kind of what we're doing. Well,
Okay. And then will it be on your current YouTube that we'll have in the description, or will it be on the Tech4All Foundation's YouTube? Like, where do you plan on nesting this content?
So the one about military transition tip, that's a separate entity. That's one of my side projects. So that will be on my current YouTube, that military transition tips YouTube that I have. I'll just create another playlist or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been watching those a lot. Not that I'm planning on getting out or nothing, but it's like 5 tips, 3 tips. Like I like you said, shorter content, shorter, meaningful content keeps people's engagement. Long form podcasts, it's like I listen to them, right? Because I always had that very long commute, or I'm running on a treadmill, or I'm outside doing PT or something like that. So I think you got it. Like with I do not, I'm not envious of your current 45 episode project though. Like, that's gonna be dope to listen to, but to build is a different beast. But with that being said, so for those out there who are thinking about kind of going down your path, creating content and what have you, can you give us a little insight on what that looks like in your busy schedule, right? So you have a day job, you have a family. So what does it look like to build that content out?
Yeah, so I'd say what I normally do, I wish I could turn the camera or whatnot, but I have a board that says wake up 6, push-ups 6:15, shower, all that stuff. And then I have hour of the day, it'll say make content. So for that whole hour, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? All right, set up my room, do a video. And I usually have a OneNote with all my videos. So I'll choose one, but all right, this is the video I'm gonna do. Have my little like, not script, but bullet points, what I want to talk about. And then I just do it. I work it into my day. That way I don't forget about it. Cause I know that if I was like, oh, I'll get to it on Thursday, but I don't have it scheduled with all the other things I do, it'll just get pushed off, and then it'll get pushed off, and then I'll forget about it. And it's not in the forefront of your mind. So I say, if you want to make some content, something like that, then try to work in your schedule and be, like you are, religious about, like, make sure you actually do it. And one tip I want to say, don't just be blowing all your money on like the fanciest camera or whatnot. You can use your cell phone or your webcam, all that stuff. It might be cool to have all the blinky lights and stuff, but you can do it with less, especially if it's meaningful.
Right, exactly. Like, my phone camera is better than the actual camera I got. So, so whenever I make that content, I'm like, oh, that's real good. Like, I shoot it all the time. but no, so that's dedication right there, right? So like if you want to achieve something outside of work, if you want to generate content, because there's a lot of people ask like, like how do you come up with ideas and whatnot? Like, well, I have a bunch of ideas. It's like, where do I come up with the time? Because it's so hard to find time to make content. So luckily, I'm able to grab these two gentlemen here every weekend, and we kind of grind on it on the weekend, and then I grind on it that evening. So I sacrifice weekend time, right, to make content. But no, that's what's up. You
I
being
want to
so
touch on
busy.
that too. Real
Oh
quick,
yeah, go ahead.
what you just said, I think it's super important. I know it's controversial. My wife loves it or hates it. I don't know, but I have Alexander Hamilton on my wall because like he always sacrificed mad time to do whatever he needed to do. You might know him from that play that came out a couple years ago.
Right. Little known play.
Yeah, little known play, right? But like sacrificing your time for something you want to do is super important. A lot of times people are like, oh, I don't got the time. That's because you don't got the time you want to dedicate, but it's something you want to do more, whether it want to be Xbox or whatnot. But some people, they know that, hey, I want to do, like you said, you want to do this podcast. And so you know that on your Sunday or your Saturday, you're going to give that time up. You could be drinking or partying or whatever what else you could do. But, you said that I want to do this. And so that's more important in your mind and you sacrifice for that. Some people, they're not willing to sacrifice the creature comforts for the thing that they say they want to do. So you guys got to decide what's actually important to you. And that's kind of why I made my schedule. So I know, like, hey, I said this is important, then I'm scheduling time for it, regardless of, if I get to play my Xbox or not.
Right. No, that's key right there. I don't even want to piggyback on that. Like that's words to live by. So before I move on, anybody, did I cut anybody else off? So we typically do these solo. Yeah, we typically do these solo, but I want to integrate it into the podcast only because of efficiency and as well as like I know, sometimes LeVon or Shannon will ask me questions after the interview about like what did I not catch on camera or what have you. So like we all get it together, what have you. So this should be the format going forward. But it gets kind of congested. But I mean, I've seen people do it with like boards of 16 people. So it's definitely doable. Just have to, keep crafting on it and what have you. But with that being said, I guess I never asked this question. I always want to, but what have we not asked you that you want to put out there? You know what I mean? Like whether it be something to do with, experience or your current job, your foundation, et cetera.
Yeah. So I'd like to talk about how I got into my current role, right? So I did do the interview with Microsoft through the course that I went through, the veterans MSSA course. But when I went through the course, I didn't make it in the initial interview, so I went and got a job at a different organization. But the hiring manager for the team that I'm on now, he reached out. He saw my my resume, my interview notes from the other team, but he told me that he saw my LinkedIn and he saw the YouTube that I had and all the that me trying to help people on LinkedIn find jobs and all that. And he said that's the type of person he wanted on his team, and that meant a lot, right? So I always tell people be cognizant of your cyber identity, your brand, because you don't know who's looking. Like if I was some dude that was just posting whatever on LinkedIn, political posts, whatnot, then he might not have called me back and I wouldn't have had, this job that I love, So like be cognizant of your cyber,
your social media footprint.
Your social media footprint. That's what I was looking for.
There you go.
Thank you. You saw me struggling in the water. You pulled me out. Nah, but yeah, it's super important, because like I dedicate, I owe that my job to what my profile looked like, because he definitely stalked me and watched my videos because he quoted a couple of things I said and I was like, dang, he legit watched them. So
okay,
wow. I like that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's definitely smart.
Yeah,
and I think that's well with this podcast, Ryan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So definitely, like a lot of people don't think about that. Like they do while out. They got pictures of them drinking, flipping a bird, and whatnot. People are watching that.
That's why Shannon doesn't have a Facebook or social media. He's trying to like, he's got too much history out there. He don't want it to be revealed.
Don't need no skeletons jumping out the closet on me.
That's right. Got some skeletons. No, I'm just kidding. I know Shannon's a good.
But it was for me. And I know this is something I went through in TAPS, right? So like I had nothing, like I didn't have LinkedIn or anything before I went through TAPS. And one of the instructors that we had there was like, look, you have to kind of get with the time. So like for me, like even my LinkedIn, I hate to say this, but I don't even look at it anymore. Like I'm not searching for a job or doing anything like that. Like I don't even look at my LinkedIn. When I get notifications in my email, I just delete them, right? Like I'm not searching for anything, nothing along those lines. I'm happy where I'm at. Facebook, no need for that, right? Like, so if you know me, I know you, we can reach out through text or phone or something, right? So like for
Right.
me, I don't have a lot of Facebook friends, you know what I mean? Like I have friends, you know what I mean? So it's just never been something that really appealed to me, right? And as Bobby Boucher's mom would say, Facebook is the devil. No, I'm joking. but no, like it's like with Facebook, it's just like a lot of drama and stuff like that, that I don't need to get into, right? Like I got
no.
I'm with instead of going down that rabbit hole. So it's just not for me.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And it's like, it's obviously, it's not for you, but it's of course, like as Johnny was mentioning, I mean, if you're going to put something out there, make sure it's like quality, don't be putting some, craziness, some crazy malarkey out there that's going to get you hemmed up somewhere, or like, get you denied a job offer. I mean, especially, LinkedIn of all places. I mean, that's supposed to be like the professional, like that's the quality, like Facebook right there. That's the the refined version of Facebook. So should be just like, job postings or, doing activities like community activities that like Johnny's doing, and just keep it professional. But I think that's like a great bit of advice that Johnny laid out there. I mean, I've heard other people getting jobs like that, and I know that's a big thing in just in interviews nowadays. A lot of people are just gonna look you up online. They're gonna Google you. They're gonna Bing you. They're gonna see like, hey, what is this guy all about? What kind of information can I dig up that he won't tell me, or he or she won't tell me when I come when they come in for the interview. So they're gonna try to delve into the dark reaches of the web to find some info about you. So
Right.
It's great.
No, that's definitely good tips. I mean, we got lots of keys, as though what's his name? DJ Khaled would say, we got keys over here, right?
That's right.
We got
major keys.
Major keys. There you go.
Yeah.
When it comes to your work ethic, like we see you schedule that time, right? You make sure that you schedule time to make meaningful content. You sacrifice for it, so that lets people know that that's the type of dedication that you have to have if you want to be a content creator. We also have your nonprofit and the passion, right? You said it was about 4 of you who went through the course, went your separate ways. So some really good companies, by the way. I was foot stomped that, like that might be the program to go through if you're listening and you have the ability to sign up for it. You're a veteran, because that like four high profile companies were name dropped in here. But then you came back together and say, okay, as opposed to us waiting for this to be created because it's a good idea, why don't we become the change we want to see? So again, major key right there. And then with you went through the program, you didn't necessarily get hired on, but then there was a follow-up. It was like, no, we like the interview, as well as we see it, you're producing this content that's meaningful, that's helping people. We want you on the team. So it's three nuggets of wisdom right there. So if you're still tuned in, like definitely jump on that. Like those are the keys to success. I'm stammering over here. Success. That will help you along your path. So definitely jump on that. I'm definitely going to have, like, send me all of your links, everything you want in the description. We want to definitely have the nonprofit in there. The MSSA, I definitely want to stick that in there as well. Like I've been looking into it. It's been recommended to me several times. I have to figure out how it works, because again, when you transition from overseas, things are a little bit different, right? So I gotta see if I can, if that is the path to go down for me or what have you.
Well, you do
definitely interested.
Without like, I don't know, breaking any of my rules at work, right? But you can access that course after you transition. It's not like a normal skill bridge where you solely have to do it when you transition out. There are people that transition, like Desi. She got out of the Coast Guard I think, a year and a half before she was in the course. So you can come in as a veteran, not just as a transitioning veteran. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you want to take a year off and be with your family, then go through, you know.
The way I'd like to buy big TVs and things of that nature, I can't take a year off. But if you're fortunate out there and you can take that time, I definitely jump on it.
Ryan trying to get that
resource.
Ryan trying to get that Series X. He's
I'm trying to be like you over there, man.
Yeah, we got the S over here.
LeVon has the Chateau with the 8Ks and the Series X's and what have you. I'm trying to be like that man over there.
That's right. That's right.
I did have one last nugget I want to say.
Yes.
Though. I know we talked about content creation and stuff, but I want to loop it back around to what your podcast is about, and what your passion is. I think you can take the word content and change that with studying. The same way we said, schedule your time to make content, schedule your time to study, because I have a lot of certs as well. And I had to do the same thing, working, military, family, all that stuff. You had to work that study time. A lot of people say, I want to get a cert. They want to do like a burst study. But all right, well, I studied for 45 minutes. Let me go try my hand at the exam.
Right.
But, study that time. If that's what you want, school, whatever it is, make sure you schedule that time. Because I would say you can juxtapose content and put studying in there as well.
Yeah, definitely. So it becomes almost so again, like people talk about the military, like how does the military help us to get to where what we're trying to do and what have you. Like that's built in. It becomes a muscle reflex. Well, you're studying for something. Like I came in because I was not doing so hot in college. Like my freshman year, I was like, I need to take a break. I'm going to the military, get this GI Bill, come back out. And then all you do is study in the military. Like it's part of the routine. Either you're working your body, you're working your mind. So you have to have that kind, like you said, you have to have that same mindset. Like I want to achieve this. Okay, if CISP is on your mind, then what's the foundation? Are you putting in time? Are you putting in an hour a day? You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing on my weekends? Am I leaving the party early on Saturday because I need to make sure I study Sunday morning, things of that nature. So you were definitely correct in that. Dedication, regimen. You got to have that routine if you want to have that success, especially if you're brand new to cyber or IT. You've never done it before. So yeah, definitely. So it was that. We on like five major keys? Like where we at, 4 or 5?
All the keys. Another one. DJ
Another one. But I'm gonna go ahead and land this plane. It was definitely great talking to you. I want to get all your links and all that stuff in the description below so people can follow your content. Your podcast is going to be fire because you're doing an excellent job already. Your content's already excellent, especially for those people in the military who want to transition. I definitely would recommend checking out you have 3 tips to stay in or 5 tips to transition, all that good stuff. Like always a good video. I was going to say, I in the future, if we could schedule it, I want to have your VP on as well. Like I like to pick her brain to get another perspective, right? And then also to showcase and highlight, people of color, people who are in those C-suite, senior level positions, because you guys are doing major things over there. So I definitely want to get the whole crew on sooner or later onto the podcast so we can get around, scheduling conflicts and what have you. For all those who are listening, still at this point, definitely hit up the previous episodes and interviews and what have you. I'm going to put this one. Typically, I don't put these in playlists, but this was a really focused on your organization. So I'm gonna not only will it be in the regular playlist, but I'm also gonna put it in the interview playlist so people can check out you and your content and kind of hone in on that as well. And that might be the path going forward. But it was definitely a pleasure. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, LeVon. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on as well. We definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So Monday and Tuesday, we have our topics. This is our Wednesday episode. Thursday, Ask a CISP should be back on and firing. So if you or someone wants to be on the show, I get a lot of questions. And I try to follow up like, hey, you want to be on the show? And they're like, I don't know about that. But I'm always willing to answer your questions. So if you have questions, hit me up. And then I'll give you where you can hit me up in a second. And then Friday, we talk about everything else. So definitely tune in for that. We try to get out of our heads in cyber. It still always falls that way because like Johnny says, you're always making time to study. So I got some cloud in during the week, but we'll try to talk about everything else as well. What did I watch? What did I listen to? All that good stuff for me and the crew. hit up the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, to get to all of our content, our social medias. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, IG, TikTok, and Twitter. LeVon, where can people find you at?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There. And Johnny, where people find you and your content at?
Yeah, on LinkedIn, YouTube. I just started a TikTok, and I'm about to get on Twitter as well. I was a little bit resistant, but I'm on there now. I'm on a TikTok
Okay.
as well.
Got you. That's the hardest content. You got to squeeze it down to like 30 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you a whole cybersecurity tip in 30 seconds.
I ain't dancing, I tell you that.
But but that's how you get people on. But we'll put all of that in the description below. So if you're curious and you want to connect or find Johnny's content, it will be in the description of this episode. So with that being said, stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.
Okay.